In honor of the 2020 Olympics, we'd like to celebrate the accomplishments of 10 Philadelphia athletes who have contributed to our city's rich Olympic history. Rather than rank them from worst to first, we will start with the oldest and work our way up to the present-day Tokyo Games. But before we get to the contents of this video, it would be cool if you could hit that like button and give us a subscribe. A lot of time and effort goes into the creation of these videos, and your positive feedback helps motivate me to make more of them. With that being said, thank you for your support and let's start. Number 10, George Orton. Technically not a Philadelphian, and actually the first Canadian to win an Olympic medal, George Orton was the captain of the University of Pennsylvania's track team when he won gold in the 2,500-meter steeplechase at the 1900 Paris Summer Games. Considered the father of Philadelphia hockey, Orton introduced the sport to the city while a student at Penn. Additionally, he is responsible for building the first indoor hockey arena in Philly as well as for forming the Quaker City hockey team, a competitor in the American Amateur Hockey League. As if that wasn't enough, Orton was instrumental in building the Penn Relays into the greatest annual track and field competition in the world when he served as the event manager from 1919 to 1925. Number 9, Dr. John Baxter Taylor Jr. Although not remembered for his dominance in the sport of track and field, John Baxter Taylor has the greater distinction of being the first African American to win an Olympic gold medal. Competing in the 1908 London Summer Games, Taylor ran the third leg in the 400-meter men's medley relay. He ran with two of his fellow teammates from the University of Pennsylvania's track and field team. Besides being an accomplished athlete, Taylor was a doctor, having received a degree from Penn's School of Veterinary Medicine. Sadly, Taylor died just 5 months after winning the gold from typhoid fever at the age of 26. Number 8, John B. Kelly Sr. The bricklayer from East Falls was the first 3-time gold medalist in the sport of rowing. Winning 2 gold for single and double sculls in the 1920 Antwerp Games and another gold in Paris 4 years later, Kelly trained with the Vesper Boat Club at 10 Boathouse Row. In 1924, he married Margaret Mayer, the first women's athletic coach at the University of Pennsylvania. Together they produced another Olympian, John B. Kelly Jr., who took home the bronze for rowing in 1948, and Academy Award winner Grace Kelly, who became Princess of Monaco in 1956. Kelly almost became mayor of Philadelphia in 1935, but lost by a slim margin. He died in 1960 at the age of 70. Number 7, Betty Becker-Pinkston. Often referred to as the Philadelphia Mermaid in local papers, Becker won 2 gold medals and 1 silver medal for Olympic diving. At the 1924 Paris Games, she won gold on the 3-meter springboard and took home silver on the 10-meter platform. 4 years later, Betty won gold in Amsterdam for the 10-meter platform. She married fellow Olympic diver Clarence Pinkston. Together, they won 7 medals total. Number 6, Joe Verdeur. The North Catholic grad won gold in the 200-meter breaststroke at the 1948 London Olympics. It's believed that had the Games taken place in 1944, and had the Games included the butterfly and individual medley, Verdeur would have taken home several more gold medals. He was considered to be the greatest breaststroker in the history of the world, having set and reset several world records. He was inducted into the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame in 2005. Number 5, Joe Frazier. The meat-packing fighter from Philadelphia needs no introduction to those familiar with boxing history. As the first boxer to defeat Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier is considered one of the all-time greats in the history of the sport. What many people might not know is that he began to make a name for himself after being the only American boxer to win gold at the 1964 Tokyo Games. At the tender age of 20, Frazier was sent as the USA's heavyweight representative only after Buster Mathis suffered an injury. Despite breaking his thumb in the semifinals, he defeated German Hans Huber for the gold. Smokin' Joe would go on to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world from 1970 to 1973. Number 4, Bill Toomey. This Philly-born high school English teacher shocked the world, and he became the oldest man to win the Olympic decathlon at the 1968 Mexico City Summer Games. The 29-year-old also shattered the previous Olympic record, becoming the first athlete to score over 8,000 points in a decathlon. Though he didn't spend much of his childhood in Philly, he returned multiple times to compete in the Inquirer Games during the 1960s. He's still alive today at the age of 82. Number 3, Tyrell Biggs. This West Philly native represented the USA in the super heavyweight division at the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. Standing at 6'5", Biggs beat world champion Lennox Lewis in the quarterfinal before defeating Italian Francesco Damiani for his first and only Olympic gold medal. Directly after his Olympic debut, he turned professional and eventually went on to challenge Mike Tyson for the heavyweight title in 1987. After that crushing loss, Biggs' career took a skid and he suffered from drug and alcohol addiction. Fortunately, he recovered from addiction and now trains the next generation of Philly fighters at Haddington Recreation Center in West Philly. Number 2, David Reid. Dubbed the American Dream, the North Philly native won gold in the light middleweight division at the 1996 Atlanta Summer Games. No ordinary medal, Team USA was facing a gold medal shutout, having yet to win a gold for the first time in men's boxing since 1948. All hopes were on David Reid, and he did not disappoint. Also, side note real quick, one of USA's losers was a 19-year-old kid named Floyd Mayweather who could only manage to take home the bronze. Anyway, Reid, down 15-5 after round 2, knocked out Cuba's Alfredo Duverhel in the third round with a right hook. Number 1, Dawn Staley. She's number 1 on this list because she is still actively participating in the Olympics, but had I ranked this list by number of gold medals, she'd still probably be number 1. Staley won Olympic gold as a player in 1996, 2000, and 2004. In 1996, she carried the Olympic torch up the steps of the Art Museum on its way to the Great Flame in Atlanta. In 2004, she was selected to carry the American flag during the Athens opening ceremony. This year, the North Philly native will coach Team USA to another gold medal. I mean, it's basically guaranteed. Put money on it. That's all we have for this video. Check back next week for a video about Black Saturday, the deadliest day in baseball history.